Mm-hmm.
And then some of the older guys are here because they have big old letters.
I had to wear a tie. I went to Catholic school.
Oh, that's right. We were at the time, they still talk about there's some paper over here.
You missed here.
Yeah. Did you get the vacuum out? But I was sitting there, I'm getting mean by these guys.
You know you have to put them away now, Brent.
I know.
I put my name up there.
Overtime pay. It's getting overtime.
It's the big scrolly man truck. You might be coming to that cross.
It's really dark school. They brought some students over to West. They just
Thanks, Brian.
Late.
That's pretty much it.
All right.
Oh, they got a bunch of students.
Call our meeting to order. Oh, please rise. Can I ask you to join me in a moment of reflection on a business that's before us this evening? Then please join me in a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Alderman Brennan.
Here.
Alderman Begley. Alderman Basso.
Here.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Here.
Alderman Key.
Here.
Alderman Scully.
Here.
Alderman McGrogan.
Here.
Alderman Clifford.
Yeah.
Well, we have a special presentation tonight. Who's going to run it? Gareth?
Yep.
Okay, you're on.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Gareth Blakesley. I'm the director at Lake Catherine, and I wanted to present the Lake Catherine 2024 annual report. So as I said, I'm also joined by a number of my board members, so thank you for coming out this evening. And this is basically just going over all the kind of the things that we've done in the last year, all the kind of changes we've actually done, and kind of just go from there. So one of the things we always like to do is Lake Catherine is mission-based, and our mission is to connect people to nature for education, recreation, and restoration. We updated this mission last year. We refined it so we can actually all remember it. A lot of times missions can be very long, and this time we try to kind of like really hone it down so people can actually remember it. And so everything about our mission is how we try to do all of our activities throughout the lake and all our kind of all the things we want to do and how we approach things. This page itself, hopefully you've always had a chance to see this, really kind of highlights the things that we've done in the last year. For example, we had the Mediterranean Boathouse Boardwalk and Boathouse went in last year. That was fully fundraised through the non-profit, and you can already see it in use right now with one of our camps, which is a fishing camp where people get to do it. We also use this for like doing canoe and kayak launches as well. So this has done a double duty, and it's been a great asset to Lake Catherine last year. It also increased our canoe and kayak revenue by about $15,000 last year just by having this alone, making it more attractive. We also did some upgrades. These were city capital upgrades. This is actually the front of the nature center, so we actually had to redo our deck in there to make it, it just needed repair. And as part of that, we actually installed a new stepway to make the entrance more accessible and more appealing to people to come in, while still remaining ADA accessible for people. So that was something that makes it much more attractive and keeps going with making sure we have a nice facility. And obviously some people were able to, many of you were there, we had the parking lot, the trailhead parking lot, that opened this year, but it was basically finished last year. And that's a permeable paver lot that was funded about 20–30% through MWD, and the rest through IDOT funds and Mayor's Caucus funds as well. So that was a great thing. Our donations increased. Last year we hired a fundraiser through the nonprofit. This is the first hire through the nonprofit. So we actually now have our own staff over there. And she started in August, and she was able to, in the last quarter, we had a 408% increase in last quarter donations over 2023. So having that person is obviously making a big difference through that kind of work. This is last weekend, we just had a trail race, and that also helped with getting donors and funding for that as well. Last year alone, we actually had 142,000 site visitors to Lake Catherine, which is kind of one of those huge things. We actually were able to get this data because we had we spoke with a group who do AI phone tracking, and they decided to do some work for us without us actually having to pay. And so we were able to get some of the information from that, which is absolutely huge. And so we know we had 142,000 site visits last year. Our staff is made up of, from last year, is made up of a number of different people. Obviously you have myself, who kind of jumps in. We have Bridget, we have Sophie, we have Tara, and we have Zoe that started last year. We have Chris, who does our volunteering, and we have Brenda. We also have about 15 to 20 part-time staff in a variety of different ways as well. We also have our board of directors: Paul, Jill, Terry, Mary, Walter, Susan, Terry, Joe, Dan, Charles, Diana, Somali, and Heather all help to kind of like keep the non-profit on its going and kind of help with doing things. Last year, or this year, we just got updated with our MOU, and everyone was involved with that. Also, city council members were involved with getting that updated. Our volunteers is a huge. We actually had a jump last year in our volunteer hours, which was absolutely great. We went up to 2,779 hours of volunteer time. That actually has a value of $98,000. If you take the independent sector and what the rating is for volunteer hours, this is what it's actually worth. So we get $98,000 of donation basically from time from volunteers alone, and they're all very specialized in the different things that they do. Our operating budget, I kind of operated with income. This actually includes city funds as well. As you remember last year, we made a decision not to have to pay back money to the city. And with that caveat, we will actually have to go and do things like that. One of those things we did was hire a fundraiser last year. And so when you look at that 56%, that's the big blue bit, that's actually the contribution of the city of Palos Heights. And in the coming years, what we're going to look for is that percentage number to go down. So as our other things like donations go up, as our revenue in other areas, basically the percentage of that is going to equal out in different ways, and that blue line should actually go down, which is a key part of why we decided to do that. This actually shows how much our expense was, and actually bear in mind last year we had quite a bit of expense with our boathouse and boardwalk because that was finally finalized. And that does give us a little remainder, which is actually part of the portion. We need to actually have that little bit of overage every year to make sure that in the coming years that we'll be able to take on more people and more kind of funds from the city as we go forward. And basically that means we're having financial growth. And that's kind of what we want to actually see here, while still keeping on our mission and moving forward with all the things we have to do. And of course, this just is an example of, obviously I'm not going to go through all these donors, but this is an example of some of the donors that we actually had last year. A variety of things, from tree and shrub dedications, to the outdoor shade structure last year, to the boathouse. We have an annual event of Monarchs and Margaritas every year. That exceeded budget last year. We had event sponsors for that. We had a variety of grants. And so all of these people contribute in a variety of different ways and really help with us to kind of, and again, this is a section of growth that we want to continue to grow as people really see that we're a non-profit and that they want to contribute to our mission. There's a number of different ways one can do that with different donations and giving. We're actually going to be piloting a couple of different things this year, and we hope to kind of continue that kind of growth, and while we get more sponsors for our programs and events, expanding our fundraising, and just really kind of keeping people interested in Lake Catherine and why, and developing those relationships with donors and keeping that going. At the end of it, youth education is really, really important to us. So like one of the things, why does Lake Catherine exist? And so we exist for a number of different reasons, and one of them is trying to educate the next group of people to come forward. And so what's really exciting, we do a variety of different environmental education programs. We get people outside, we get them like camping, we get them handling different animals, we learn about environmental issues. But the cool thing about that is also, last year we had 5,910 students actually turn up for our different programs. We actually had over that. We had actually over 6,000 people enroll, but not, you know, sometimes people don't turn up. We had 5,910 people that we're directly able to connect with, and that actually exceeds numbers from before the pandemic. So we're already kind of developing and going forward, and that's the areas that we want to continue with. We have a variety of different events and recreation things. So we have archery classes. We had an Erie kayak tour last year. We celebrate Women's History Month with walks. We had a bird-in talks, animal meets and greets. And this is all just part and parcel. And if you see in the bottom hand corner, we also reach out to local senior centers, which is an area that we've been growing in. Yeah, no problem. And that is actually something that we expanded and be able to reach to kind of a group that doesn't often get a lot of education, does not get a lot of kind of interaction. And we're happy to kind of be expanding those kind of items that we're doing. Conservation is also hugely important for us. Although this looks like a burning field, it is actually a burning prairie, and that's really, really important to kind of maintain in different conservation areas. Maintains prairie, it reduces invasive species, and a lot of the activities that we do help support the Mayor Monarch Pledge, which is something where we do install native plants across the area. We have our annual Monarch Butterfly Festival celebration. We do a variety of different restoration work days. These are already, we also do our native plant sale, where a lot of the native plants will actually help different pollinator species. So this is all part and parcel of the things that we're trying to do to improve conservation, but also help the public be able to do their own conservation measures as well. And of course, one of our key areas is people like to come to Lake Catherine because it's a beautiful place to have an event, whether it be a wedding, whether it be a party, or whatever it might be. And we try to create a beautiful place. And that is also one way for people to connect with nature. And a lot of times we find people will come back and be donors after these events. But this is also one of the areas that we produce quite a bit of our revenue. Currently, the non-profit is supported by about 50% of our revenue comes from these events. So it's all going to be part and parcel. But as we go forward, we want to keep that, maintain that level, but have other proportions take up more of the slack. We also do community conservation resources. So we go out to different areas. We offer native landscaping designs for different people. We go out, we include adult education, whether that be on a variety of different topics, but they're all environmental or nature themed to try and get that information out to the public. And kind of, we want people to do the right thing in their gardens or plants. And so this is a school that we were planting native plants with that was actually funded through funds from NICOR grants. So they were actually able to put a neighbor garden. And we do a lot of different, so we're coming up in 2025. We have a variety of things. We have snowshoeing, we have kayaks and canoes, which start up in May. We have a variety of different fishing events, archery, guided tours in canoes and kayaks. These are all part and parcel of the things that we do every single year, and we've expanded a number of those, and they're pretty exciting. We also have kind of like a couple of special events coming up as well. We've actually already done a couple of these. We had the City Cleanup Day, which is actually supports the local green team on April 5th. We had the Run Wild 5K race, which was just this last weekend. But all those other events are all coming up soon, and they're just a highlight of things that we want people to highlight. Come out to Lake Catherine, or even just come out to Lake Catherine and enjoy the grounds, enjoy what we have, enjoy the spring and all that kind of good stuff. So that's what we have happening in 2025.
Any questions of Gareth?
Mr. Mayor, if I could just,
Oh, yeah, sure.
thank you. I think the one thing that presentation is missing is the expertise and dedication of Gareth for Lake Catherine, for the beauty and serenity of the grounds and the dedication to keeping it in its natural state. So thank you, Gareth, for everything you do. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Hi, Gareth.
Yeah.
Great job, good presentation. I think the next time around, like maybe next year, like if you could give us a step-down program, you had mentioned briefly how you, on the city's contribution, which is over $500,000.
Yes.
How we'd like to see that step back down, because obviously, you know, your goal and our goals are mutual. We'd love to see you be self-supportive, stand on your own legs, and you know, but it would help so that we gave some, if we had some actual benchmarks, so we could kind of like, you know, there's a lot of students in the audience, so we could kind of give you a report card.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly 2024 was kind of the first year of that implementation, and then we will be able to actually kind of compare 2025 to 2024. And we can show that in the data, so you can actually see side by side there. And then we can extrapolate out into what 2026, 2027 would be, so you get a good kind of idea of how that would look next to each other.
I think it would be helpful.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other questions, Gareth? Well, thank you for your dedication. Board members, thank you for your time and effort over there, and Heather also is on the board. And, so, thank you. Okay, you're done. Okay. Under consent calendar, I've got the approval of minutes of the council meeting, of the committee of the whole, on March 4th, 2025, the city council meeting from March 4th, 2025, and the approval of the payroll and the voucher list for the period ending March 14th, 2025. Need a motion to approve the consent calendar. Moved by Alderman Clifford. Second by Alderman Brennan. Discussion, roll call.
Wait a minute, I gotta call you back on city meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll call you back. Bye.
I am. Okay. All right. Let's see. I apologize. I had the wrong consent. Consent calendar. I need approval of the minutes from the city council meeting from March 18th, 2025. Approval of the payroll and the voucher list for the period ending March 28th, 2025. Approval of the payroll and voucher list for the period ending April 11th, 2025. And a request from Misericordia to conduct their actual tag day in front of the storefronts in Palos Heights in accordance with the city code on April 25th, 26th of 2025. Now with that, I'll need it. Moved by Alderman Clifford and second by Alderman Brennan. Discussion, roll call.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we have some open bids tonight for a 300,000 gallon storage tank.
Okay, and the first one comes from, what's it?
It's a big tank.
It's a big tank. First one comes from McGuire. $10 bond amount with a a bid price of $2,475,000. Second one is from Dame Mechanical Industries. $1,778,888. Third one is from Pacific Construction Services LLC. $10 bond amount, bid amount. $2,297,400. And the last one is from Joseph J. Henderson and Sons, Inc. $2,121,930.
All right, need a motion to refer that to the Water and Sewer Committee.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for your time. Now that I have my agenda back on my iPad, right? Going right along, we had a great celebration today for the retirement of one Chief Bill Chakowski after 44 years being in the police department. The last couple of years as the chief, we had a great turnout. I'd say over 100 and some people were there at the rec center and had a great breakfast. And from Merleberry, we had some honors by his fellow officers, his staff. The city gave him an honor also, and then it was interesting. We had the head of the Chicago DEA was there, along with the head of Chicago FBI. And just kind of a side thing is the fact that those two individuals both had ties back to the city of Palos Heights. Actually, one still lives here in Palos Heights, and one grew up here. And so it's kind of interesting. You come back and all things taken into consideration, you two major agencies and law enforcement in Chicago, and they're from Palos Heights some way. So it was great. So it was a good thing. And I'm trying to have Bill come back. I didn't want to bring him tonight because he had too much partying this afternoon. So maybe the next meeting we'll have him come out here, give him a little bit of an honor on an ongoing basis. So. That being said, I have a request to appoint Linda Schiappa to the Public Arts Commission for a 3-year term expiring April 15, 2028.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Begley, seconded by Alderman Clifford. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the motion that we had brought in after the Committee of the Whole is the annexation of Shepherd High School. We've talked about, we had the presentation by Dr. Barron. Tonight here we have Tim Baker, who's the principal of Shepherd. He has to answer any questions. On a personal note, congratulations to Tim for his re-election to the 118 school board also. And I'm sure you'd like doing that again. And but if anyone has any questions to Tim, Jeff had some questions after the meeting. I think I answered all those.
Yes.
And going forward. So with that, entertain them.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by McGogan, seconded by Begley. Discussion. Roll call.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
You're all set. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for time and effort going into that. And that's the end of my report. City Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No report today from the clerk's office.
No, since this is the last tax day, I realize that the treasurer is not here today for obvious reasons. So Shannon's going to be treasurer tonight.
Yes. Okay, this is the cash summary report for the period ending February 28th, 2025. The general fund beginning cash was $4,206,712. The revenue was $1,572,859. The expense was $857,683. Other source use was $67,412. The ending cash balance for the general fund was $4,854,475. The total all funds beginning cash was $28,559,663. The revenue was $2,684,149. The expense was $2,101,157. The other source use was $1,052,835, and the ending cash balance was $28,079,820.
Good job. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Brennan,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Scully. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City Attorney?
I don't report.
All right. Any communications anyone have tonight? Citizens wishing to address council? Anyone? Okay. If not, finance. Alderman Brogan.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, we have two things, and I'm gonna make a comment at the end of that. Number one, is number 10 on the agenda, which is a motion to approve the Heights Cycle sign grant application, which was reviewed, and it's in the amount of $2,000.
Moved by Alderman McGrogan, seconded by Alderman Scully. Discussion? Roll call?
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford. Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 11 is a motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the sale of two vehicles. One's a 2019 Chevy Tahoe PPV VIN number. I don't really need to.
As listed.
Trust me, the last four are 4788.
That's
And
good,
it's
that's
a-
good enough.
It's a 2019 Chevrolet Tahoe at PVP with lots of miles, and that one, the last four digits are 2965.
Okay, that's good.
Second.
Moved by Alderman McGrogan, seconded by Alderman Key. Discussion? Roll call?
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
That's the end of my report. I think I'll hold my comments to new business.
All right. Public Safety, Alderman Basso?
Yes, Mayor, I have no items on the agenda, but I would like to once again remind all of our residents about the latest scam hitting population today. It's up on the screen now. I would assume that everyone out there can read that type size. I hate it when you go to a seminar and somebody's reading this to you. I can read it if you want, but it's up on the board. I've been getting this regularly, and so has my wife. I'm sure other people have. I can assure you, though, that if you don't have a driver's license, or you don't drive, or you don't drive the tollways, this has no interest to you. Do not follow the instructions on this email. If you are a driver and you do use the tollway, you probably have an iPass, which automatically deducts tolls from your credit card, an agreement that you made sometime in the past. So this email also will not apply to you. There's no such thing as the tollway authority calling you to ask for past due tolls or threatening fines. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention again in case you see this one come across your phone or your iPad. Just be warned. Also, as the mayor mentioned, Chief Chakowski recently retired today, and I've known Bill Chakowski for decades, and the Chakowski family. I certainly, along with everyone else, I'm sure wish him the very, very best in his retirement, and I thank him for all of the years that he put into the city, and especially to making our police department the wonderful organization it is, and the safe city that he's given us. So, I don't know what that one is. So, yeah, go ahead. I would just like to wish him well and thank him. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, sir. Municipal Grounds and Property, Alderman Begley.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one item on my report this evening. I would like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 LED pedestrian light fixtures, just the fixture, not the arm, and 20 banner arms and 60 banner arm end caps from the Lighting Digest in the amount of $13,868.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Begley, second by Alderman Clifford. Any discussion? Roll call?
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Thank you. That's the end of my report
All right,
this evening.
thank you.
I
Alderman
appreciate it.
Skelly, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing formal on the agenda, but I will like to ask my fellow council persons to review the request for proposal of Old Palos Development Plan that was emailed to you earlier in the week with the intent of having a meeting in earnest with your comments at the next planning and zoning meeting next week, and then bring that forward to the council the following. That's all for my
All
report.
right, thank you, sir. Recreation, Alderman Key.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to, for payment number 8 to Simpson Construction, the amount of $37,908.45 for work completed on the pool improvement project.
Moved by Alderman
Second.
Key, second by Alderman Basso. Discussion? Roll call?
Okay. Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Then I'd like to make a motion to approve proposal to provide masonry, painting work at the transfer showers in the family locker rooms in the amount of $56.09 even for field order number 8 by Simpson Construction.
Moved by Alderman Key, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Brennan, discussion? Roll call?
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford. Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes. Then I'd like to make a motion to approve proposal to provide plumbing, masonry, painting work at the transfer showers in the family locker rooms in the amount of $97.35 even for field order number 9 by Simpson Construction.
Moved by Alderman Key,
Second.
by Alderman Basso, discussion? Roll call?
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford. Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Then I'd like to make a motion to approve Power Softball's request for extended use of lighting on Power Field number 1 on June 7th, 2025 until 11 o'clock p.m.
Moved by Alderman Key, is there
Second.
second by Alderman Brennan, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Then I'd like to make a motion to approve Community Park seasonal washroom cleaning services from Sertoma Star Services from April through October 2025 in the amount of $950 per month.
Moved by Alderman Key.
Second.
Second by Alderman Brennan, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Then I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of replacement signage for Crawford Park from Sign Outlet in the amount of $5,895.
Moved by Alderman Key. Is there a
Second.
Second by Alderman
Second.
Brennan, Alderman Basso, discussion? Roll call?
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
And then if I could just add some of the comments having to do with Chief Jakowski. All of us have had some relationship with the police department, and it's just an excellent department of the city, something to, a real source of pride for us. Nothing that happens there is by accident. And I think Mike Yatt this morning in his comments at the breakfast stated that, Bill's probably done the lion's share of building that department into what we have today. And he's a good friend of Palos Heights. He's a good friend of the police department, but he's a good friend of all of us. And we live safely because of the police department. I just want to say thank you to him. Our best, wishes and prayers go out to him that he can spend his retirement doing whatever he wants to and improve his golf game, as he said himself today. So good luck to that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Roads and Construction, Alderman Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion to award a 2025 MST bid to Lindo Brothers, Inc. for the lowest bid for the main bid in options 1 and 2 in the amount of $697,556.00.
Moved by Alderman
Second.
Clifford, seconded by Alderman Scully.
That's the
Discussion?
road program for 2025, so everyone knows.
All right, any questions? Roll call.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye. And also a motion to award the Harold Avenue and Cypress Lane reconstruction bid to the builders paving for the lowest bid amount of $495,161.25.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Clifford and seconded by Alderman Basso. Discussion?
These are all being covered by Illinois First Fund, so taxpayers are paying this. This is major construction on both of these.
Right. Okay,
Streets.
roll call.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
That's the end of my report. Mr.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Alderman Lewandowski, license permits, franchises.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 items on the agenda this evening. First, I'd like to make a motion to adopt an ordinance amending the various code sections to comply with Public Act 1030510.
Moved by Alderman Lewandowski. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Begley. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, this is updating our codes to 2021 from 2009.
It's a good update then.
Yeah.
Discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item, I'd like to make a motion to approve of the proposal from Bradford Systems Corporation Phase 2 digital conversion in the amount of $40,000.
Moved by Alderman Lewandowski. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Scully. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, now this is Phase 2 of the document imaging of our plans that we have are statutorily required to keep in perpetuity. And it makes more sense to digitize those rather than have them be at risk for flooding or fire or whatever. So this is Phase 2. This is in the budget as well.
Out of how many is Phase 2 is going to be?
This is it.
This
This is it.
Okay, good. All right, roll call.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Scully?
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan?
Yes.
Alderman Clifford?
Aye.
Alderman Brennan?
Yes.
Alderman Begley?
Yes.
Alderman Basso?
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski?
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Water and sewer, Alderman Brennan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve payment number 6 to Calumet City Plumbing for the water meter replacement program in the amount of $63,073.65.
Moved by Alderman Brennan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Clifford. Discussion? Roll call.
Alderman McGrogan?
Yes.
Alderman Clifford?
Aye.
Alderman Brennan?
Yes.
Alderman Begley?
Yes.
Alderman Basso?
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski?
Aye.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Scully?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve payment for professional engineering services with RJN Group for the 2025 sanitary sewer rehabilitation and 2025 on-call underground infrastructure services rendering through February 28, 2025 in the amount of $9,425.
Moved by Alderman
Second.
Brennan, seconded by Alderman McGrogan. Discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Clifford?
Aye.
Alderman Brennan?
Yes.
Alderman Begley?
Yes.
Alderman Basso?
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski?
Aye.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Scully?
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan?
Yes.
Then I'd like to make a motion to approve payment for professional engineering services with Strand Associates Incorporated for the 131st Street water main lining and alternative water supplier analysis rendering through February 28, 2025 in the amount of $18,519.66.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Brennan, seconded by Alderman Key. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Brennan?
Yes.
Alderman Begley?
Yes.
Alderman Basso?
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski?
Aye.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Scully?
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan?
Yes.
Alderman Clifford?
Aye.
I make a motion to award the 131st Street water main lining project to FurPal Construction USA in the amount of $1,049,889, subject to IEPA review and agreement.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Brennan, seconded by Alderman Key. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Begley?
Yes.
Alderman Basso?
Aye.
Alderman Lewandowski?
Aye.
Alderman Key?
Yes.
Alderman Scully?
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan?
Yes.
Alderman Clifford?
Aye.
Alderman Brennan?
Yes. I have nothing further.
Thank you, sir. Alderman Key, Business and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to remind everyone that Farmers Market will soon be upon us every Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the municipal parking lot. Starts on May 7th and goes all the way to October 8th. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Cable TV, Alderman Scully.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a couple items. Many interesting programs are available now on Channel 4 and by YouTube, such as a program on reverse mortgages geared for seniors. Past Health Food Store has got a nice program about seasonal allergy remedies. You'll have to tune in to find out what that is, but it's really interesting. Chicago Christian College had a signing day. That's on YouTube. Sue Jankowski reports on all the events at the library in May. The bulletin board scrolls dozens of activities and community events. And Spotlight highlights Staggs High School girls badminton and girls water polo athletes. In addition, during the last 28 days, Palos Heights TV4 broke all records for internet viewership with over 4,000 local and regional views. Age groups range from 35 to 44, 55%, 45%, 65 and older. This excludes the people on Channel 4 and AT&T, which is, I think we all know, dwindling. Again, Palos Heights TV4 has become one of the largest and strongest media coverage in the state of Illinois with local and regional programs. On the business side, Palos Heights TV4 is working with the members of the Finance Committee to bring forth a budget, which we hope to have at the early May council meeting. That's all for my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Any old business? Anyone?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Couple things. First of all, I think I speak for many people here in the audience and the residents. I'd like to congratulate we had an election 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a meeting. And the mayor won the election to be the mayor for another 4 years, along with Shannon, who's taking notes tonight as the clerk, Jim Damicky, who ran for treasurer, is quite busy today, being tax day. More to come on that in a minute. We also have Alderman Brennan won, and Heather Begley won as alderman. And I think they all worked real hard in their elections. And I think we all.
We got Scully and-
Jack,
And Jack too. That's right.
You got half
I
of
have
them.
I got them written down.
you gotta write them down, don't you?
You gotta read them.
Just looking that way.
Wait, that doesn't mean that my memory.
He got confused on reading those VIN numbers. He was trying to remember all those VIN numbers, so he forgot maybe the translation of that.
I didn't say I had a good memory. All I said is I was going to say thank you. So, since today's tax day, this is kind of a combination of old business and new business. I always thought that it was interesting that April 1st is, always says it's April Fool's Day. To me, if they're ever going to change, they're changing daylight savings time and thing. I think actually April 15th is really April Fool's Day because the way we get fooled with the amount of taxes that you pay. And actually, if you were paying attention tonight, as Shannon went through the treasurer's report, you could see that we spent over $2 million last month on the report, and just tonight alone it was over $2.5 million, which is expensive. And these are all tax things that all the people here in the audience and everybody pays. And I think that, you know, a lot of times people look at the city and say, where does your tax dollars go? And I think that, you know, some of the things that Shannon highlighted, and everybody here, the other aldermen who made comments about, you know, spending money from this committee and that committee, it goes, you know, and we try to, he's not here to take the credit because he's working on other people's taxes, but the city treasurer does a great job managing lots of money that comes through the coffers, but as you can see, it's very expensive, and as Garrett pointed out, even at Lake Catherine, you know, it's really an expensive operation to run the city, and the people here in the city do a great job handling it for everybody so that we can all smile, even on April 15th, the actual April Fool's Day. So that's one of my.
All right. Any other editorials tonight? All right. Citizens wishing to ask questions about business? Any new business? Need a motion to recess into executive session for discussing personnel matters.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Thanks, guys.
Is there a lot of students here that need a picture? Okay, why don't you come up here, we can quickly explain what